In the biggest series on the 2024 MLB calendar, the Yankees and Dodgers put on a show. This series had just about everything. You had a pitching duel, you had extra innings, you had a blowout, you had an offensive showcase, and yes, the Yankees did fall to the Los Angeles Dodgers. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and game one, we got to see the pitching duel we all were expecting. Yoshinobu Yamamoto on one side, and of course, the Yankee great Cody Poteet on the other side. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, this is probably the best performance I have seen out of Yoshinobu. Before this game, he had thrown less than 5 pitches over 97 miles an hour. In this game, he threw over 20. Now, a lot of that is probably just adrenaline. It's being hyped up for such a big series. I think it threw off the Yankees a little bit. They were not able to mount an offense at all in this game. You saw Cody Poteet on the other side, a guy making his 3rd major league start, and he looked great, going 4 2/3 scoreless in this game. Great performance out of a guy coming in and replacing Clark Schmidt. No one knew what to expect. This looks like it's going to be another Matt Blake masterclass. He doesn't get them all right. We'll talk about that later on. When he gets it right, it's something special. And it looks like they're getting it right with Cody Poteet. Great performance out of him. The bullpen did their job up until Ian Hamilton in that 11th inning, which before we get to that, if Trent Grisham knew how to bunt, he would be the talk of the town. He would be the legend of this series. But of course, the Yankees have a bench bat that's worth $20 million that does not know how to drop a bunt. Yankees do not score in the bottom of the 10th after shutting the Dodgers down in the top half. They go to the 11th. Ian Hamilton coming out for his 2nd inning of work. He walks the first batter. You don't want to do that. Brings up Teoscar Hernandez, a guy who, after the Yankees have beat him down for the past 6 years when he was playing with Toronto, he got his get back, became Barry Bonds in this series, started it off in this game, making it 2-0 game at that point. They don't turn back from there. Aaron Judge drives in the ghost runner. Overall, wasn't enough. Yankees fall in game 1 in a pitching duel and a classic. A lot of old school fans will love. I included in that. It did bring back it brought back late 2000s, early 2010s type of baseball. Something that I did enjoy. Then we go to game 2 and the wheels kind of fell off. This game was close for the most part. You had Nestor Cortez on one side. You had probably the most obscure name in the Dodgers rotation at the moment in Gavin Stone. And Gavin Stone was getting touched up in this game. You had multiple innings where the Yankees were able to get the first 2 guys on. Their real problem in this game, driving in runs. This is where the loss of Juan Soto really had an impact. You saw moments where Volpe and Verdugo would get on. You would have Aaron Judge then strike out uncharacteristically. Giancarlo Stanton pop out very characteristically. They're not able to drive in those runs. At some point, it's going to bite you in the ass, and it did in this game, as we got to talk about Tommy Kahnle, because Tommy Kahnle coming into that 8th inning, he looked good for some of this performance. But once the wheels start to fall off, the big problem I have with Tommy Kahnle relies on that changeup far too much. It seemed like in this start, he threw 15 straight changeups. Going into that Teoscar Hernandez at bat, he threw a bunch of changeups, then forced a walk. Teoscar Hernandez, I think, saw 6 straight changeups. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. It looked like he saw 6 straight changeup. A changeup is supposed to be an off-speed pitch. An off-speed pitch is supposed to keep you off balance because you're expecting something else. If you're sitting on a changeup like Teoscar Hernandez was, and it seemed like he was in this at bat, a changeup turns into a slow fastball, and you're not going to execute that changeup every time, which is why you want to mix it in with a fastball or a breaking pitch, so that the change in velocity could still get the hitter off balance, even if it's not in the best spot. Teoscar Hernandez, the Barry Bonds of this series, was not off balance. He hits the ball deep into the sky over the left field wall. It was a grand slam. They don't look back from there. Aaron Judge had a really good game in this one, had 2 home runs. One of them didn't really matter in the top of the ninth, in the bottom of the ninth, while they were down 11-2. Dodgers win by 8, 11-3, the Yankees' biggest loss of the season. And it really didn't look like it deflated the team after that Tommy Kahnle performance. Tough outing for Tommy Kahnle, and it was a tough outing as well for Dennis Santana. And after this game, you saw a bit of urgency from this Yankees front office, which I did appreciate, because there was a lot of talk after this game about concerns with the lineup, concerns with the bullpen. We'll get to the concerns with the lineup later on. With the concerns to the bullpen, they addressed those immediately. They have DFA'd Dennis Santana and brought back Ron Marinaccio. Thank God. Why it took so long for Ron Marinaccio to get his way back to the bigs, I have no clue. The Yankees looked like they were trying to do something with Dennis Santana. He has the velocity, some talent with those breaking pitches, where you thought Matt Blake would be the perfect guy to sort of transform his career. That didn't happen. Ron Marinaccio has been a consistent force in this bullpen for a couple years now. He should have never been sent down. And I do have to eat some crow from when they first sent him down, because they sent him down at first to bring in a guy who was DFA'd from the Mets twice, Michael Tonkin. And as we go into game 3, we saw a great start from Luis Gil. The box score will tell you that he had an okay start. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 walk, 5 2/3, 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Not the stellar MVP Cy Young performance that we're used to out of Luis Gil. This Dodgers lineup is unforgiving. This Dodgers lineup is a juggernaut. When you have to face Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, and then Teoscar Hernandez turns into fucking Barry Bonds, there are no holes in this lineup. For Luis Gil to only make 2 mistakes. One mistake was the high fastball to Mookie Betts that he drove down the left field line, scoring 2. And then the second mistake was the home run he gave up to Teoscar Hernandez. Not the worst pitch in the world, by the way. It was still in on the edge of the zone, just a little bit elevated, enough for Teoscar to get his hands inside, get the barrel to it, and when he becomes Barry Bonds, there's not much stopping that. He made 2 mistakes in this game and made the rest of those pitches count. Luis Gil made Shohei Ohtani look overmatched. At times, he made Mookie Betts look overmatched. When you can make great hitters in that Dodger lineup look overmatched, you know that there's talent there. You know that this guy is special. That's what Luis Gil shows. So I wanted to tip my cap to Luis Gil, because I saw people complaining about this Luis Gil performance, saying he's turning into a pumpkin. I didn't see that at all. I saw a guy who stepped up when it mattered most. Yes, did not have the stellar performances we saw against some lesser opposition, but again, those are lesser opposition. When you face a team like LA, you're not supposed to go and mow down that just doesn't happen. So props to Luis Gil, good performance. But as I started the segment, Michael Tonkin comes in and he shuts the door for the second time in this series. And I do just want to give credit to Michael Tonkin. I was a big hater when he first came into this team, because if you think about the scenario, Michael Tonkin had just got DFA'd from the Mets. Then the Yankees bring him in and send down Ron Marinaccio in a very confusing move. Then Aaron Boone decides in a do or die moment of that Milwaukee series to bring in Michael Tonkin for extra innings, and he shits the bed the way he did. Of course, I'm not going to have favorable feeling about a guy like that. But ever since that moment, Michael Tonkin has done everything right. And it's only right of me to eat my words and give praise to Michael Tonkin, who seems like another version of a Matt Blake masterclass, as he has now less than a 3 ERA. He's looked like one of the more dominant forces in this Yankees bullpen. and he looks like Randy Johnson almost. And I'm not saying his stuff is as good or even similar to Randy Johnson. Don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say here. But if you look at the facial structure, you look at his mustache, you look at his pitching motion, a lot of it is Randy Johnson-esque, and he's putting it to great use. One of the more productive members of the Yankees bullpen. So just wanted to salute to Michael Tonkin for sticking with it, adjusting to the Matt Blake experience, and making the most of this opportunity. As now, without Dennis Santana, who was a liability, a Matt Blake L, so to speak, we have Ron Marinaccio back in, who also pitched in this game and pitched very well. You're gonna start to see a more consistent bullpen, at least in my opinion. Anyways, back to the game at hand. This game was back and forth. You saw the Yankees come out to a lead with an Oswaldo Cabrera home run. You saw the Dodgers take a lead. Then you see a guy like Trent Grisham, the guy who couldn't bunt in game one, step up to the plate as he was inexplicably put into the 5 spot. Yankee fans being as ruthless as they are, chanting, "We want Soto." You see Juan Soto in the dugout kind of get a little blushed about it, because you don't want to hear that as a hitter at the plate. Aaron Judge denounced this move from Yankees fans, but Trent Grisham shut all that up immediately as the next pitch comes and he hits a 3-run homer to give the Yankees a 5-3 lead. Aaron Judge then stamps the game with a towering shot into left field. Let's talk about Aaron Judge for a second. Aaron Judge started off the year 184 to end April with a 700 OPS. It's crazy that he was able to keep a 700 OPS with that bad of a batting average. That's neither here nor there. Aaron Judge since then has built his average and OPS up to an average of 305 with an OPS of 1100. How is that humanly possible? Aaron Judge is a freak of nature. He is up to 24 home runs and is now on pace for 57. One more spurt like he had in this series, and he'll be on pace to do what he did in 2022. What he did in 2022 was historic. So to be able to do that twice over would be absolutely insane, especially considering the horrific month of April that he had. What an insane time in Yankees land to watch a guy like Aaron Judge, usually in a tandem with Juan Soto, who we got the best news possible from him. He's going to probably be back come tonight's game in Kansas City. Just a great time to be a fan of offense in New York, seeing that tandem. The Yankees go on to win this game 6-4, salvage the third game, and I saw a lot of fans very concerned about this series, especially before game 3, because the Dodgers are a good team, and there has been some questions about the strength of schedule that the Yankees have had. To me, how I look at this series, if Trent Grisham knows how to bunt, we won this series 2 out of 3. And if we won this series 2 out of 3 legitimately, this would be the best series win of our season. So I'm not overly concerned. We faced a Yoshinobu Yamamoto, was at the top of his game. We had a bad game 2 where we struggled to score runs. We saw the effects of not having Juan Soto in this series in that game, and then ended up taking out one of the Dodgers' better pitchers in Tyler Glasnow. So to me, this series is not a concerning point. To me, this just showed the Yankees need Juan Soto to be consistent, and the Yankees will be getting Juan Soto back very soon. But some of these concerns are valid, and those concerns lie around 2 guys. One guy being Gleyber Torres, who has started to build up his season brick by brick, trying to put himself on the fast track to get his season into shape. But one guy who has just fallen off a cliff is Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo has looked lost at the plate. Almost looks like Joey Gallo during his worst moment in pinstripe. Everything's on the ground, everything is pulled, and when he's not doing that, he's popping out into the infield and he's striking out a lot. There is not a lot that's going good for Anthony Rizzo in the month of May, and now to start June. Nothing has gone right for Anthony Rizzo. Now, there are questions about what are the reasons for it. Is it injury related? Does he have a injury at the moment? Did the concussion ever really heal? Maybe it healed enough to where it looked good on scans, but did his health ever fully improve? It sucks that we have to have these conversations, but it's valid when you realize absolute atrocious performance that he's had. Even if we talk about most recently, over the past 7 games, he has a batting average of .034. On the season, he's batting .220 with 7 home runs and 25 RBIs. Now, on its face, it doesn't look that terrible in that light. Like I just brought up with the last 7 games and what the last month has given us. Been on a steady decline for this entire season. What should the Yankees do? Should the Yankees go and bring up Ben Rice from the minor league? Should the Yankees go out into the trade market? If we're going into the trade market, the number one candidate seems to be a guy like Ryan McMahon in Colorado. Third baseman, has a lot of power from the left side. He would take over third base, and DJ LeMahieu can take over first. Yes, DJ LeMahieu is also not hitting well. We should be giving him more time. He is just coming off of the IL. It's not as big of a concern with what DJ LeMahieu has done than the absolute atrocious month and a half that Anthony Rizzo has had. It really sucks to see that Anthony Rizzo is in this way because the fans have put so much stock into the success of Anthony Rizzo. This team has put a lot of stock into the success of Anthony Rizzo. So to see that he is struggling the way he is, it's just very sad. And maybe he turns this season around. To me, it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. It seems like they're going to have to find alternate routes at that first base position. He'll be a bench utility bat off the bench to go along with a guy like Oswaldo if we bring in Ryan McMahon, along with Jahmai Jones and Trent Grisham. I don't see an avenue where Anthony Rizzo is still the starting first baseman long term. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. I'm out of here. We are on our way to Kansas City tonight, and then we finally face our arch rival, the Boston Red Sox. Hopefully you are hyped for that series. I am too. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.